A 2023 survey conducted by Payroll.com revealed an alarming statistic. 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, a 6% increase from the previous year. This means that more than 3/4 of the population struggles to save or invest after covering their monthly expenses, leaving them financially vulnerable. What's causing a majority of the U.S. population to live waiting for the next paycheck? Let's take a look at some numbers collected by the Federal Reserve and see what respondents claim is causing this. If you're interested in improving your financial future, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if this video is helpful. The phrase living paycheck to paycheck is often used in discussions about personal finances, but what exactly does it mean? In this context, living paycheck to paycheck refers to a financial situation where a person or family's income just barely covers basic necessities like housing, utilities, groceries, and transportation. Missing even one paycheck could cause huge financial hardship. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, saving money becomes challenging, if not impossible, and investing is completely out of reach. This leaves you more exposed to financial emergencies, or if your income is disrupted, never mind the stress associated with such a situation. Nearly half of people, 49%, say that high monthly bills are the primary reason they're stuck living paycheck to paycheck. But how much control do people really have over these bills? While some expenses, like housing and utilities, are often fixed and tough to cut down, others, like discretionary spending or subscription services, offer more room for adjustment. It's important to recognize that high bills can mean different things for different people. For some, high bills might result from overspending, such as buying a car that exceeds their budget or renting a larger, pricier apartment than necessary. In these cases, high bills are a direct consequence of financial choices that may not align with their income. On the other hand, high bills might not be due to overspending at all, but rather the difficulty of managing basic expenses like insurance, utilities, and the cost of feeding a family, which can all be steep regardless of one's financial habits. To put it differently, some people are facing high bills because of overspending, while others have high expenses for basic necessities, even though they're living a very modest lifestyle. Nearly half of the people surveyed, 46%, say they're stuck living paycheck to paycheck, partly because they don't budget or plan their finances. This shows that the issue isn't just about how much money they make, but also how they manage it. Really, how many people do you know that throw caution to the wind with money? They don't know or care how much they spend in various categories, and they just play it with a nonchalant, "it will all come out in the wash" type of attitude. Why don't they make the effort to track their finances? Could it be that the idea of budgeting feels overwhelming? Maybe they believe it means they'll have to stop spending altogether. This is often not the case at all. Without some organization when it comes to spending, it's easy to lose track of where your money goes each month, leading to overspending on things you don't really need, while neglecting important expenses or saving for emergencies. Financial planning is just as important because it helps you set long-term goals, like saving for retirement or paying off debt, and it gives you a clear plan to get there. Without these tools, people often end up in a cycle of just getting by, with no way to move beyond living paycheck to paycheck. Budgeting and planning aren't just about cutting back. They're about creating a game plan that helps you meet your needs now and in the future. You'd think a low income is the sole cause of living paycheck to paycheck, never mind the other reasons. To some extent, it is, but surprisingly, not earning enough money isn't the largest concern. A surprisingly low 44% of people say that a low income is a major reason they're stuck living paycheck to paycheck. For many, not earning enough money is a major source of financial burden. When your paycheck barely covers essentials like rent, utilities, and groceries, there's often nothing left over for savings or unexpected costs. It's incredibly frustrating to work hard every day, week after week, and throughout the year, only to receive a paycheck that just manages to meet basic needs and leaves you struggling to get to the next payday. This can leave you with a hopeless feeling, wondering where to turn next. Many people find themselves in this tough situation, where despite their hard work and commitment, their income isn't enough to keep up with rising costs and surprise expenses. Every week at the grocery store, the prices seem to be doubling, yet one thing remains the same: their paycheck. It's disheartening to see that despite all the effort put in, the paycheck you receive isn't enough to build any savings or create a financial cushion. This means each paycheck barely stretches to the next one. Breaking free from this cycle is challenging when there's not enough money to cover current expenses, let alone save or invest for the future. About 35% of respondents attribute their paycheck-to-paycheck lifestyle partly to unexpected emergencies. These unforeseen events, such as medical issues, car repairs, or home maintenance problems, can quickly deplete savings and disrupt even the most carefully planned budgets. It often feels like there's a new emergency every month, even though it takes months or even years to recover from the last one. When an emergency arises, the lack of financial cushion means individuals often have to rely on credit cards or loans to cover these sudden expenses, further straining their finances. As a result, these emergencies contribute significantly to the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, making it difficult to build up savings or make long-term progress. One thing is for certain: emergencies and unexpected expenses are inevitable. Whether it's a sudden medical issue, an urgent car repair, or an unexpected home repair, these situations can arise at any time, and often without warning. Being prepared to handle these emergencies is crucial for maintaining financial stability and reducing stress. 32% of people say that the rising cost of living is one of the main reasons they're struggling financially. For many, the reality is that prices are increasing faster than their income, which means their purchasing power is gradually shrinking. As time goes on, they find it harder to afford the same things they used to, putting more strain on their finances. The surge in interest rates, skyrocketing car prices, and the soaring cost of buying a home are just a few examples of expenses that have spiraled out of control in recent years. Even everyday activities like dining out have become much more expensive. These rising costs are making it difficult for people to maintain their standard of living, let alone save for the future. The gap between income and expenses is widening for many, turning the cost of living into a serious issue that impacts their financial stability and overall quality of life. Americans typically spend an average of $3,372 per month on essential expenses, such as housing, healthcare, food, transportation, and taxes. Unfortunately, most survey respondents have less than this amount saved up. This means that if they were faced with an emergency and had to rely on their savings, they would struggle to cover even a single month's worth of essential costs. Living so close to the edge definitely doesn't make it easier to sleep at night. With such limited savings, it becomes challenging to weather unexpected financial setbacks, leaving many people vulnerable and unable to manage emergencies effectively. To make ends meet, many people rely on a few key strategies for saving money. According to respondents, nearly 63% consider making meals at home and packing food as their primary method for cutting costs. The second most common strategy is reducing non-essential expenses, which 57% of respondents practice. Additionally, 50% of people save money by shopping secondhand. Living paycheck to paycheck is a tough reality for most Americans, caused by high bills, lack of budgeting, low income, and unexpected emergencies. While better planning can help, it's still a big challenge for many. With little to no savings, people are at risk of financial trouble if anything goes wrong. Breaking this cycle can require some serious effort, but the result is well worth it in the end. That's a wrap for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tips on mastering your finances. And always remember, I want you to take better financial decisions.